This is Southeastern 16 presented by FanDuel. We are here. I'm Chris Lee along with Brian Edwards to present to you our preview of South Carolina going to LSU. I'll get the updated odds and spread from Brian on that in just a moment. Before we get there, reminder, we're brought to you by GameTime SIDEKICKS, officially licensed stainless steel drinkware. All SEC schools, 350 other universities, stainless steel sippy cups, tumblers, 40-ounce bottles, and shaker cups. SE16 get you 20% off your entire order. Also brought to you by the HOF app or Hall of Fame app. Smart bettors will own data. HOF hands you powerful analytics at your fingertips to tilt the odds in your favor. Improve your chances of winning using historical data, matchup grades, trends, and player performance insights. HOF was created by Ivy League sports geeks to let everyday fans bet smarter. For limited time only, our listeners not only get a 7-day free trial, but they also get 50% off their first month when they use code SE16 at checkout. Download the HOF app on iOS or Android, enter code SE16, and you're all set. All right, Brian, we are doing this mid-afternoon on Monday. What have we got in terms of odds, spreads, and stuff at FanDuel?
We have LSU minus 8.5. They are minus 345 on the money line. If you like South Carolina to win outright, you can risk 100 to get 270. Is there plus 270? The total is 43.5 in the first half. LSU's a 5.5 point favorite. In the first quarter, LSU's a 2.5 point favorite, but at a minus 122 price.
Okay, well, I think what's interesting to me, the Florida game, the way that went, kind of interested me because hear me out here. Like people thinking, where are you going with this?
I know where you're
DJ
going.
DJ Lagway had a couple weeks to get healthy and right. And you've got two quarterbacks who I think have underachieved compared to preseason expectations. You know, Garrett Nussmeier has been thought to be banged up, not himself. Lenore Sellers, it seems like he's perpetually banged up just based on playing style. I wonder what the reboot does for both these offenses this year, which have not been what we had hoped.
I agree 100%. Nussmeier has struggled with that abdominal injury. I don't know when he suffered it, maybe in the Florida game, but he definitely has not been himself. And like Lagway, I think 2 weeks in the reboot, as you described it, I think we'll see a healthier Nussmeier. I think we'll see a more effective Nussmeier. But yeah, he and Seller, so Nussmeier, 67.3 completion percentage is good, 1,159 yards, but the 7-3 TD-INT ratio leaves a little bit to be desired. And then Sellers, 886 passing yards, 4-1 TD-INT ratio. But really the thing that surprised me with him is only 98 rushing yards and 1 touchdown and a 2.0 yards per carry average. So, yes, I concur that I think the off week is probably going to be good for both quarterbacks. And I expect both of them to play better, maybe even have their best games of the season.
Yeah, let's start with LSU. The offense has been underwhelming. They're averaging 5.5 yards a play, 27 points a game. On passing plays, just about 6.5 yards a play, which is not at all what we expected, given all that talent in quarterback and receiving rooms. The defense has been another story. I said Blake Baker's defense was going to be better than people thought. They've been so consistent. The worst game they've had was given at 5.7 per snap at Ole Miss. Now, they gave up 480 yards of total offense, but that came on 84 snaps. LSU only ran 56 plays in that game, again, because of offensive consistency issues. So you got that on one end. On the other end, I think South Carolina, same thing. Offense has not been what we hoped. They're averaging just 309 yards of total offense. They don't run many plays. An average of 58 snaps a game. That's not much. Defense is on the field more than the offense. They've been pretty good. 4.9 yards a snap. Did give up 456 to Missouri. And again, is a spot where the offense just has not stayed on the field and helped them out. And of course, special teams for South Carolina have been a big deal too. They've had a ton of defensive and special teams touchdowns. What do you see off the jump other than the quarterbacks that catches your eye here?
Well, kind of picking up what you were just saying, how South Carolina's, they're 14th in the SEC in scoring, 24.8 points per game. But what if they didn't have those 3 punt returns for touchdown and at least 2 defensive touchdowns? So, they'd be less than 20 points per game, I'm guessing. didn't do that
Oh yeah,
bad.
they
But
no
yeah,
doubt, no doubt
right.
they would be.
Yeah, so that's extremely um, disappointing. But they have had a couple of the young receivers have stepped up the last couple of games for the talking about the Gamecocks. That is, especially as I'm getting down here, especially Ventravius Jacobs, 5 catches, 108 yards against Kentucky. And then the game before that, he had 7 catches, 128, and 1 touchdown. So that has been, promising for South Carolina. And they did play a lot better offensively against Missouri. I mean, that game was close pretty much, the whole way. But do you know, they have not beaten LSU and since 1994, they have lost.
Goodness.
Now they don't play every year,
Some would say
obviously.
they might should have beaten LSU last year.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say that they should have.
Yeah,
I mean, that was a hell of a comeback and a hell of a game. That was one of the games of the year in my mind. That was a fantastic
yeah.
game. And by the way, because Durham had a big game, we're guessing, or I don't know, we'll know on the injury report Wednesday, but he's still dealing with that ankle. And then Aaron Anderson, their best receiver, has also been dealing with an injury. So obviously, we're recording on Monday. We'll know more about that on Wednesday night. But yeah, 8 in a row for LSU in this rivalry and 18-2, excuse me, 2-1 overall. So South Carolina has not had much luck in this series.
Yeah, I think for Carolina, I just don't think their offensive line's been very good. I thought their rushing attack would be better. The Mike Shula hire was one a lot of people question. It's just I don't know what Shane Beamer does with offensive coordinators at times. Meanwhile, for LSU, we've kind of talked about it. Like I just think there's so much potential there, but there's just been no consistency for them at all. Now, again, I think there are all that talent in the room. Caden Durham, you mentioned. I mean, there's some good things there, but man, Brian, averages per play so far 5.1 against Clemson, 4.9 against Louisiana Tech, 6.1 against Florida, 6.0, 6.8 against SELA, 4.5 against Ole Miss. I guess, the rushing attack has just been the part where they have struggled to maintain any consistency. And again, like South Carolina, I think some of that probably relates to that offensive line.
Yes, and I mean when you lose a Will Campbell and another NFL offensive tackle on the other side, there's going to be a downgrade, but it's been a little more significant than we all expected, and it's going to be interesting to see if and I'm talking about both of these teams and how much improvement these offenses will display after the open date. And back to what we started talking about earlier is Nussmeier and Sellers probably being a little more healthy, and hopefully that'll be a good thing. But yeah, LSU's got to get the run game going, and it has not been clicking yet.
One thing that stands out to me, I feel like this is going to be maybe a 21-17 type game, Brian. And when you're looking at those things, big plays and turnovers are a big thing. We talked about Carolina having 3 punt returns for touchdowns and at least 2 defensive touchdowns in the Kentucky game. Carolina's only turned it over in 1 game all year. If my notes are right, that would have been Vanderbilt, which they lost big. What was it? It was 31-7. Their most lopsided loss so far. They do force turnovers. They force at least 1 in every game. 2.7% rate. LSU offensively has been pretty good about hanging onto the ball, turned it over a couple times against Clemson, I guess. Everything else is 1 or less. And defensively, they forced some turnovers 2.5% of the time. Florida, that was a big reason they won. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on is big plays and turnovers. Not sure who's got the edge there, but a strip sack or something or a punt return in what I think should be a low-scoring game could be your deciding factor here.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm seeing LSU +3 turnover margin, South Carolina +5, and I said Sellers only 1 interception, so that could very well tilt this game. Whoever wins, well, that's every game. Whoever wins the turnover battle No doubt about it. A couple gambling stats for you. As a home favorite under Brian Kelly, 12-7-1 against the spread for LSU, and as a road underdog under Beamer, the Gamecocks 9-6 against the spread. As for the over/under, this is the lowest total that LSU has had this year, and the under is 4-1, but now we got, a much lower total. And as for South Carolina on the over unders, we have them 3-2 to the under, the over hitting back-to-back games. But this is also South Carolina's lowest total of the season, and their second underdog situation, the first being Mizzou plus 10, where that missed extra point helped them cover as a 10-point dog and a 29-20 loss in Como.
All right, let's get to picks in a second. Before we do, we're brought to you by Yearly Company, a Nashville-based fine jewelry brand built on tradition, designed for meaning. Each piece is handcrafted from solid 14-karat gold and natural gemstones, made to measure for a perfect fit, backed by a lifetime guarantee. Customers build their collections year after year, celebrating anniversaries, birthdays, new beginnings, and everyday moments. Because every Yearly Company bangle is custom sized. Knowing your size is the most important step before ordering. That is where their sizing kit comes in handy. And guess what? If you're listening, you get that for free. Just enter code SE16KIT. That will take 100% off the sizing kit at checkouts. Get ready for Christmas. Get your wife something nice. Go to yearlycompany.com. You can make that happen right now. ROKFORM, ROKFORM, is the world's strongest magnetic phone case. And boy, it is strong. I used mine and I've dropped my phone before. It doesn't matter. It protects you. Extreme protection, super strong magnets, rock lock secure mounting. September and October, the busiest months of the year with a new iPhone release. SEC 25 gets you 25% off your entire order at rockform.com. Also brought to you by HOVI. Your team may stink, Brian, in the case of my favorite NFL team, but my team's hat does not stink. You can see me wearing my Titans cap here. I've got several Titans hats. This is hands down my favorite. Look no further than HOVI hats for high-quality headwear with a great fit and unique designs. Bad Beat gets you 15% off your entire order. All right, Brian, back to it. Let's get your picks. I'll start with you.
Yep. Brian Kelly at home at LSU, 22-2 straight up. Shane Beamer, 20 road games during his tenure at South Carolina, 8-12 straight up. I think it's a good spread as terms of gambling. I made it 9. It's 8.5. So I don't know who's going to cover, but I like LSU to win, to improve to 2-1 in the SEC and keep their CFP and SEC hopes alive.
I'm taking the Tigers for the same reason. Also, because I just frankly trust the talent across the roster more than I do Carolina's. I think Carolina's got some good players, but I think there's holes on that team, maybe around Sellers. But hey, they can make some big plays and change the game with that. So I wouldn't count them out. Think it'll be close, but give me LSU and Tiger Stadium at home. We'll be here to wrap it up afterwards. Hit the subscribe button and enable your notifications so that you can know when we do. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you. We'll see you again soon. You've been watching Southeastern 16, presented by FanDuel.